Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Wade from Unparalleled Universe. I just wanted to let you know about the Kickstarter that I've launched for the first ever 1/12 scale Odious figure. Odious is a character that I've created, and I'm trying to make a figure of him via Kickstarter, so be sure to check that out. Odious 1/12 scale action figure on Kickstarter. Thank you very much. Peace.
Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Marvel's Totally Awesome Hulk Build-A-Figure Wave. Here we have Karnak, another Inhumans character to finally add, because we've only had a couple of them. Ms. Marvel technically, but when we're talking about Inhumans, we're talking about the royal family, right? We've gotten 2 Black Bolt figures, we've gotten 2 Medusa figures, we've gotten a Marvel Universe Lockjaw, and in fact there was probably a few different, Inhumans in Marvel Universe that, I'm not really sure about. This was from the Collector's Vault San Diego Comic-Con box set. I have it as kind of a stand until we get a 6-inch version of Lockjaw, and speaking of his jaw does not lock in place and it just stays open like that. I don't know if that was a recent thing. Oh, look at that. I got it to stay. But anyway, we'll show that there technically would be an undersized Lockjaw. But finally, some more Inhumans. But the figure is extremely lacking because it is on the Pizza Spider-Man body, which at this point we should not ever see again, because it's just not a very good body. At the time, it was great, but that was, close to 10 years ago or whatever it was, like 8 years ago or something. It's just time to move on from this body in particular. But as we go through the articulation, you'll see why it's just not that great. We got a generic Marvel logo here, generic Marvel logo at the top. I don't know why we don't get like an Inhumans logo there. That would have been pretty cool. We get that artwork of Karnak there on the side. At the back of the package, we get extra hands for him, and then we have the Build-A-Figure piece for the Amadeus Cho Hulk, and then you can see here the list of all the figures. Karnak, Commander Rogers will be next, and then the Iron Man Heroes Return figure will round it out before we look at the Hulk Build-A-Figure. And then here is the other piece. Again, this is the right arm and hand for the Amadeus Cho Totally Awesome Hulk. So we'll throw that off to the side and we'll take a better look at the Karnak figure. Okay, so one thing I will say about this figure, a lot of times the Spider-Man, Pizza Spider-Man body has been really gummy in the legs. These things are solid. There's no gumminess to them whatsoever, and I think that definitely helps in terms of like the execution of the figure not being so much an issue having it in hand, because he doesn't have any issues standing up or anything like that. Sometimes with this body, the legs can be gummy and then he can be a problem to stand, and it's just not so good. But this figure feels very sturdy, and it's not floppy or loose in any kind of way. So that, that works out. Anyway, in terms of accessories, we have a fist and an open hand, and then we also get the opposite ones packed in the box. So a fist for the left and an open hand for the right hand. You can see these are sculpted specifically for Karnak with those bands over his hands, excuse me. Paint apps, paint looks good. The facial hair, the mustache, pretty good. The eyes, not too shabby. You can see the face portion looks to be a separate piece from the rest of the head that's just glued together. No issues there. Paint apps, it's just all white and green. There's not a whole lot going on there. There's no calf swivel, so there is... the green is probably painted on. It has to be because I could look at white in there. So the green's painted on, and those are clean lines. No issues there. Nothing really going on. The only other part would be the collar piece be painted white there over the green body. Doesn't quite line up where the two pieces meet. Not that big of a deal. Yeah, not a whole lot going on there. Pizza Spider-Man body, so we do have pins on the elbows, pins on the knees. But again, it is a sturdy figure at least. Now let's see how it moves, and that's where it really becomes lacking. Okay, so Karnak, the head is on a disc hinge, so he can look up all the way, he can look down, full rotation in there, and you actually do get some pivot going on. The shoulder, these shoulders seem a lot bigger, so I don't know if these shoulders are actually different from the ones that would normally come with the Pizza Spider-Man. I don't have one handy with me, but you can get the shoulder up. You just kind of have to work it, and you can get it to go straight on out to the side. Full rotation in that shoulder. Of course, there is the butterfly joint. It doesn't go back a whole lot, and this is when butterfly joints were fairly new in terms of like the Hasbro Marvel Legends. So at the time, it's like, oh shit, we got butterfly joints, but then they just don't really go back very far, and then come forward, not a whole lot. You can't really get any crossbody going. You can't really take advantage of it. We have the upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow gives you that much bend, so a little bit more than 90 degrees. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. They all have the standard horizontal hinge on them. Ab crunch is only that far forward. Can I push it more? No, not really, so that's not very far forward at all. Again, that's pretty lacking. And this was on a Spider-Man figure? Pretty crazy. So going back, only goes back so far. I could push it a little bit, but there's some crazy gappage, you know, going on in there. But like, I really have to force it to get it to go that far back. So just a heads up on that. The waist swivel is in there. This sash loincloth piece does kind of get in the way, so you just kind of move it up and you can move his waist a little bit easier. Legs only go out that far apart, which is not very good, especially when it was a Spider-Man figure. He can kick forward really, really high though, so that is good. The leg doesn't really go back, or if anything, just a little bit. We got the upper thigh cut in there, and that's a little stiff, which is a good sign. Makes it a little bit more sturdy. Double jointed knee gives you that much bend there. Again, no calf swivel, unfortunately, but foot hinges down. A little bit of hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Does the Karnak figure look pretty good? I think it looks okay, but again, you know, the body, it's just such an old body that is not very good. It just hasn't really stood the test of time. Now, from a pure aesthetic standpoint, yeah, you know what? I think it looks pretty good. But again, being able to work the figure and move it around and stuff, that's where we're lacking, not using a different body mold. Now, in terms of size for Karnak, yes, he's on the thinner side. So if you use like the Spider-Man 2099 body, the same body that noh-varr is on, Marvel Boy, it's probably going to be too big. So where's the happy medium? I don't know. I actually don't have any suggestions. So maybe the Pizza Spider-Man body is the right one, and maybe the fact that it's not gummy is the good sign. But you know, I don't know. I think, you know, for Karnak, how many times are we going to get a Karnak figure? Maybe if the Inhumans ever become part of the MCU proper, you know, we had the failed ABC TV series. Karnak was in that. Doesn't really look like his comic counterpart. But you know, we'll see. And if anything, there's an alternate look for Karnak that was kind of a newer, modern look. Maybe they would do that version in figure form. You know, I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's just a little unfortunate. But you know, I still think it looks pretty good. Okay, so here we have our Inhumans together. The first release for Medusa and Black Bolt were in the San Diego Comic-Con, the Thanos Imperative box set. I do have that. I've never opened it, so I don't have that version of Medusa and that version of Black Bolt to show you. That version of Black Bolt, at least his suit is actually black, whereas this one was a very dark blue color and Bucky cap. But it was an okay figure at the time. It was essentially the same exact thing with a different head sculpt. And then Lockjaw, maybe we will get a proper 6-inch scale Lockjaw. Not really sure, but for now, I think this is a decent stand-in. I just wish that jaw wasn't going so much. But, you know, will we get more Inhumans figures? I don't know. I know there's a lot of Inhumans fans. There's just not a lot of them, but I'm sure they had some pretty good stories. You know, there's some interesting looking characters and things that they could do, but really the royal family, right? So Crystal, Gorgon, Triton, are we going to get those figures? I don't know. It seems like we're not, although Karnak, at least that's a decent sign that we're getting something. Maybe in a box set, just do the entire royal family all in one go. But I think that would be something like if the MCU proper does a full-on Inhumans thing, then maybe it's something that they would do. You know, the Medusa figure was a Walgreens exclusive. The Black Bolt was in the Okoye Build-A-Figure for Black Panther. And then Karnak now, those were all years ago. So who knows? You guys let me know down in the comments below. Do you want to see some Inhumans figures? Which characters would you like to see aside from the royal family? I would like to see a Lash figure. That would be pretty cool. But who knows? We shall see. Anyway, you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of this Karnak figure? Is it a disappointment being on the Pizza Spider-Man? Or are you happy that we're at least getting a Karnak figure? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button and become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective and show support for the channel. I do appreciate it. And as always, thank you guys for watching.